25 student drivers these days. Mona's mouth dropped open when she came around the corner to Noel's front lawn. Holy shit. Hannah leaned out the window of Sean's father's BMW and grinned at Mona. You love it. Mona's eyes lit up. I'm speechless. Hannah smiled gratefully and took a swig from the Cattell 1 bottle she'd swiped from the booze table. 2 minutes ago, she'd texted Mona a picture of the BMW with the message, I'm all lubed up and out front. Come ride me. Mona opened the heavy passenger door and slid into the seat. She leaned over and stared intensely at the BMW insignia on the steering wheel. It's so beautiful. She traced the little blue and white triangles with her pinky. Hannah flicked her hand off. Get stoned much? Mona raised her chin and appraised Hannah's dirty hair, crooked dress, and tear-stained face. Things didn't go well with Sean. Hannah looked down and jammed the key into the ignition. Mona moved to hug her. Oh hon, I'm sorry. What happened? Nothing. Whatever. Hannah jerked away and put on her sunglasses, which made it a little hard to see, but who cared, and started the car. It burst into action, all of the BMW's dashboard lights switching on. Pretty, Mona cried. It's like the lights at Club Shampoo. Hannah slammed the gear into reverse and the tires rolled through the thick grass. Then she jerked it into drive, cut the wheel, and off they went. Hannah was too keyed up to worry about the fact that the double lines on the road were quadrupling in her vision. Yeehaw, Mona whooped. She rolled down the window to let her long, blonde hair flutter behind her. Hannah lit a Parliament and swiveled the Sirius radio dial until she found a retro rap station playing Baby Got Back. She turned the volume up and the cabin throbbed. Of course the car had the best bass money could buy. That's more like it, Mona said. Hells yeah, Hannah answered, as she navigated a sharp turn a little too quickly. Something in the back of her mind made a paying. It's not gonna be you. Ouch. Even daddy doesn't love you best. Double ouch. Well, fuck it. Hannah pressed down on the gas and nearly took out someone's dog-shaped mailbox. We've got to go somewhere and show this bitch off. Mona put her Miu Miu heels up on the dashboard, smearing bits of grass and dirt on it. How about wah? I'm jonesing for some tastacake. Hannah giggled and took another swig of Cattell 1. You must be super baked. I'm not just baked. I'm broiled. They parked crookedly in the wall lot and sang, I like big butts and I cannot lie. As they stumbled into the store, a couple of grubby delivery guys, holding 64-ounce cups of coffee and leaning against their trucks, stared with their mouths open. Can I have your hat? Mona asked the skinnier of the two, pointing to his mesh ball cap that said Wah Farms. Without a word, the guy gave it to her. Oh, Hannah whispered, that thing is germy. But Mona had already put it on her head. In the store, Mona bought 16 Tastacake butterscotch crimpets, a copy of Us Weekly, and a huge bottle of Tahitian Treat. Hannah bought a Tootsie Pop for 10 cents. When Mona wasn't looking, she shoved a Snickers and a pack of M&Ms into her purse. I can hear the car, Mona said dreamily as they paid. It's screaming. It was true. In her drunken haze, Hannah had activated the alarm on the keychain. Oops, she giggled, hooting with laughter. They ran back to the car and slid inside. They stopped at a red light, heads bobbing. The supermarket strip mall to their left was empty except for some loose shopping carts. The store's neon signs glowed vacantly. Even the Outback Steakhouse bar was dead. People in Rosewood are such losers. Hannah gestured to the darkness. The highway was barren too, so Hannah let out a startled eep when a car stealthily rolled up in the lane next to her. It was a silver, pointy-nosed Porsche with tinted windows and those creepy blue headlights. Check that out, Mona said, crimpet crumbs falling out of her mouth. As they stared, the car revved its engine. It wants to race, Mona whispered. Bull, Hannah answered. She couldn't make out who was inside the car, only the red, glowing tip of a lit cigarette. An uneasy feeling washed over her. The car revved its engine again, impatiently, this time, and she could finally see a vague outline of the driver. He revved his engine again. Hannah raised an eyebrow at Mona, feeling drunk, hyped, and completely invincible. Do it, Mona whispered, pulling down the brim of the Wah Milk hat. Hannah swallowed hard. The light turned green. As Hannah hit the gas, the car launched forward. The Porsche growled ahead of her. You pussy, don't let him beat you. Mona cried. Hannah stepped down on the gas pedal and the engine roared. She pulled alongside the Porsche. They were doing 80, then 90, then 100. Driving this fast felt better than stealing. Kick his ass, Mona screamed. Heart pounding. Hannah pressed the pedal to the floor. She could hardly hear what Mona was saying over the engine noise. As they rounded a turn, a deer stepped into their lane. It came out of nowhere. Shit, Hannah screamed. The deer stood dumbly still. She gripped the wheel tightly, hit the brakes, and swerved right, and the deer jumped out of the way. Quickly, she wrenched the wheel to straighten it out, but the car began to skid. The tires caught on a patch of gravel on the side of the road, and suddenly, they were spinning. The car spun around, and then they hit something. All at once, there was a crunch, splintering glass and darkness. A split second later, the only sound in the car was a vigorous hissing noise from under the hood. Slowly, Hannah felt her face. It was okay. Nothing had hit it, and her legs could move. She pushed herself up through a bunch of folded, puffy fabric. The airbag. She checked on Mona. Her long legs kicked wildly from behind her airbag. Hannah wiped tears from the corners of her eyes. You okay? Get this thing off me. Hannah got out of the car and then pulled Mona out. They stood on the side of the highway, breathing hard. Across the street were the SEPTA tracks and the dark Rosewood station. They could see far up the highway. There was no sign of the Porsche, or the deer that they'd missed. Ahead of them, the stoplight swung, turning from yellow to red. That was something, Mona said, her voice quivering. Hannah nodded. You sure you're all right? She looked at the car. The whole front end had crumpled into a telephone pole. The bumper hung off the car, touching the ground. One of the headlights had twisted around to a crooked angle. The other flashed crazily. Stinky steam poured out of the hood. You don't think it's gonna blow up, do you? Mona asked. Hannah giggled. This shouldn't have been funny, but it was. What should we do? We should bolt, Mona said. We can walk home from here. Hannah swallowed more giggles. Oh my god. Sean's gonna shit. Then both girls started to laugh. Hiccuping, Hannah turned around on the empty road and spread her arms out. There was something empowering about standing in the middle of an empty four-lane highway. She felt like she owned Rosewood. She also felt like she was spinning, but maybe that was because she was still wasted. She tossed the key ring next to the car. It hit the pavement hard, and the alarm started wailing again. Hannah quickly bent down and hit the deactivate button. The alarm stopped. Does it have to be so loud? She complained. Totally. Mona put her sunglasses back on. Sean's dad should really get that fixed.